Okay. I I'm almost certain I've got it this time. I'm pretty sure that I have the volume optimized. And since I'm not singing, I found out that whenever I'm not singing, I actually have to turn the microphone up a little bit. The more you know, apparently, it picks up frequencies a little bit better than I gave it credit for. So when I am just talking, I have to turn up the volume. But I'm sure you guys will not have to hold the phone up to your ear. I'm so sorry. I said last video, you won't have to do it, and you did. Please do forgive me. So, in this video, guys, I'm going to be talking to you about a very interesting topic. How to get an INFP to crush on you. I'm sure a lot of you guys were looking forward to this one. Now, before I begin, I need to say one thing. Please understand really quick. Do not use a manipulative tactic or use any of these methods to try to manipulate an INFP to fall in love with you, because the moment you do, they're still intuitive individuals. They will find out, and when they do, you will get the INFP version of a door slam. And I'll be getting into that here in a bit. But before I get into the INFP door slam part, let me first close before we begin in saying this. INFPs cannot really be manipulated. When I say how to get an INFP to crush on you, what I'm really trying to say is how to get them to be relaxed and comfortable with their feelings about being honest with you, because they're such friendly people. Picking a partner isn't something they do willy-nilly. Much like INFJs, for an INFP, it's a big commitment. For an INFJ, it's a emotional commitment, but for an INFP, it in a different way has a lot more to do with the heart. They really consider the dating aspect of things to be a mutually agreeable, for better lack of terms, emotional contract that both parties are agreeing to emotionally come together and move forward. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this, okay? Number one, and this should come as no surprise, just be yourself. If there is one thing INFPs value above all else, it is an honest heart, okay? Now, this does not mean at all that you have to put your whole heart out there and be 100% open and honest and upfront and forthcoming with your feelings at once. No. All right. INFPs understand that not everybody is so comfortable putting their whole heart out there right away. But you have to be honest, because INFPs don't like shallow relationships. They accept it. They accept that it's a reality that needs to be embraced in order for society to function as it needs to, but that doesn't mean that they want that from a partner. So, having said that, if you're going to try to get an INFP to feel relaxed with you, the first thing you need to do is show them that you're relaxed with them. But you have to do this in a way that's true to you and your personality. No funny games. Number two, don't hold back. INFPs, they're very particular individuals with who they choose, as I already said. But if you want to get them to open up to you, which is one of the first steps in relationships, then you need to understand that what they're expecting is emotional connection. Not in the way an INFJ does, but instead honest, transparent loyalty. And that comes in the form of not holding back your emotions. Certainly, you don't want to say whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. And that can be destructive in a lot of ways for a lot of people. You have to be sensitive to their needs too. But when all is said and done, they don't want you holding back. Now, you might say, how exactly do I go about that? What does that look like? Well, allow me to answer that. When I say don't hold back, that means don't try to talk about your feelings one moment as honest as you can, and then whenever you get frustrated because you can't explain them, have a moment of anger and shut down. That's a turnoff to an INFP. Don't do it. If you cannot express your emotions positively, or if you are not good at being healthy with your emotions. And by that, I mean not being toxic or self-destructive. You're going to run into a lot of roadblocks, because if there's one thing an INFP cannot stand in a relationship, it is repeated, constant, habitual self-destruction, where whoever they are trying to be friends with cannot talk out their feelings. You will eventually get to the point of where an INFP will give you the ultimatum. All right, look, I don't think this is working out. I care about you and I want this to work, but I don't think that we're able to communicate well, and I suggest that we should just be friends. What do you say? And the INFP will let you talk. Why? Why do they listen so much? Why do they care so much about other people's thoughts and opinions? Because they want authenticity. This is why INFPs and INFJs make amazing relationship partners. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to work well in a relationship, because there are some things that an INFP struggles to give an INFJ. And for those of you who are already INFPs or INFJs in a relationship, you can already understand some of the things I'm talking about here. INFPs have a little bit of a hard time with the intensity that an INFJ craves. But they certainly feel the intensity of the INFJ, and there's no mistaking that they're just two different personality types. What's important here is that the INFP craves loyalty. The INFJ gives wholehearted, devoted loyalty with a lot of emotional needs. The INFP likes meeting those needs and making everybody feel loved. Not quite in the way the ISFP does, but the INFP... the ISFP, I've made a video about that, but long story short, they want everyone to feel like they matter. The ESFP wants everyone to feel like every day's a party and every moment's something to be treasured and enjoyed. The ISFP is more an introverted type, much in the same way. They want everyone to feel like every matter moments, and they don't like conflict, much in the same way the INFJ. They'll try to avoid it for the sake of making positive memories. However, the INFP does a very similar thing, but is more emotionally inclined. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a watered down version of what I'm trying to portray here. The INFJ, very intense, very emotional, craves emotional connection. INFP craves emotional loyalty and wants to make others feel loved. So you have a very nice balance between the INFP and the INFJ here. What is very, again, going full circle, what is very important, though, is that if you're going to be honest with the INFP, do not hold back and do not show them that you are incapable of talking things out, because that's one thing they need. They need, and this is something an INFJ can struggle with, they need to hear the other person's thoughts, feelings, and emotions so that they can meet those needs. Number 3, and you might like this one the most, talk to them. Yes, you heard me correctly. Just talk to them. Just being a part of their life, just sharing your daily events, sharing what you went through, and opening up to them in the most generic way possible, sharing your life and making memories with the INFP is incredibly important for healthy relational boundaries. You have to understand the INFP, as much as they want to make others feel cared about, the ISFP is concerned about making memories with everyone. The INFP wants to hold on to those memories and cherish them. Having said that, if you are not giving to the INFP what they really want, which is to be there for you and to be to walk with you and be part of your life, whether it's a friend or as a spouse, you're going to struggle if you don't communicate and you're not verbalizing your life, with them. Not saying that you have to tell them every single thing that you go through, but if you're not in connection with them and if you're not regularly letting them be there for you, you're going to notice that your relationship level kind of plummets. If you use love nudge, you'll notice that their love tank drops, and they just don't really have the capacity to continue to give back, not because they don't want to, but they don't have the drive. Understand this. INFPs are fueled by a desire to be present. I will say that again. INFPs are fueled by a desire to be present. INFJs are fueled by a desire to connect. INFPs are fueled by a desire to be present. I don't think I can stress that enough. INFPs are fueled to love and be present by a desire to be present. If you cut that off from them, they are going to have a difficult time trusting you and opening back up to you. INFPs need to be able to know that if they're gone or busy for a month, they can still come back and talk. It means so much. And if you're busy for a month, they will understand, which makes them incredibly understanding for introverted partners. Extroverted partners aren't much different because the INFP doesn't need to talk a lot. They drop wisdom bombs. And it's just like, people are just like, how? But understand that INFPs don't need to talk a whole lot, but they need to be present. If they don't get to be present, their love tank is not being filled. They get filled and satisfaction out of being present in others' lives. So, having said everything here, let's recap. How to get an INFP, almost said INFJ. How to get an INFP to crush on you or to be more open and willing to be honest with their feelings. Number one, you have to be pretty open and honest about how you're feeling. You can't be toxic about it, and you can't be committing self-destructive and sabotaging behaviors. You need to be yourself, and they expect you to open up over the course of time. This doesn't mean that they need to see every part of your soul after a year. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if you stay the same because you're never completely opening up, they're going to feel dissatisfied with the relationship at some point. They're going to want to come to you and say, hey, look, what's going on? I really don't feel like I know you enough. And right there, you're getting into the feeling and perceiving aspects. You need to be able to communicate and talk to them. And let them be there for you. And you also need to be there for them. But for most INFPs, they're pretty self-sustaining individuals. They don't need a whole lot to keep themselves going. They're pretty fueled by their interests and hobbies. Most of the time, if they do need a friend, it's not for a very long time. Of course, everybody has life circumstances, but the INFP really needs to be there for other people. They take great pride in satisfaction and in reward and being there. So those are your 3 ways to get an INFP to start to crush on you or to deepen your relationships with them. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.